Mercedes Schlapp, CPAC founder, senior fellow, and former Trump White House communications advisor. Kevin Walling, former Biden campaign surrogate. Great to see you both today. Mercedes, I'll start with you and the decline of support from Latino and Hispanic voters and where that now will go, where that energy, that impact, that intensity, those votes.
Look, I've worked on Hispanic outreach and media for over a decade. And, you know, one of the biggest challenges that I think we've seen is that the Hispanics, they are moving more into this independent swing voter type of status, which actually is problematic for the Democrats because they've always claimed the Hispanic vote. But now it's a huge opportunity for Republicans to bring them home, to say this is a place you need to be because we stand for a strong America. We stand for strong border security. We stand for strong families. For the Hispanic community, it's not monolithic. But these issues that are really penetrating these communities, it's about inflation, as we're seeing across the board. It's about economy. It's about don't indoctrinate my children. Let me teach and raise my children based on my values. And also, you're seeing such diverse candidates running on the Republican side, many strong Hispanic Latinas running in these key districts, which have a very good chance of winning. They have incredible stories, and they're also connecting to their base.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting, Kevin? We've seen so many covers with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman out of New York, and what Mercedes is also sort of quietly pointing out is you may not know the names of all of the diverse lane women and men on the side of the right because they don't get that kind of love from the mainstream media. Your quick thought on that, and we'll move forward.
Yeah, Harris, you know, it's an interesting point, and I actually agree with what Mercedes said when she said that Latinos are not a monolithic group, and I think any party that views them through that lens is not going to have any success electorally. We've got to treat as Democrats this core group of our base not necessarily as a turnout group, but a persuasion group. We need to meet these voters where they're at. Catherine Cortez Masto, the first Latina in the Senate, is running an aggressive campaign, for example, in Spanish language. We need to be replicating that across the board because they will make up the difference in a lot of these key Senate, governors, and House races.
Yeah, you can replicate it, but you're losing, and you don't even have the media that's helping the other side. I mean, there's a bit of irony there. Like you're losing voters because you're just not doing the right thing. So you can start to tweak all of that, but you're already behind the eight ball because people have left irrespective of what they think they know about the people across the aisle. Check out what happened when a focus group of swing voters on a liberal network flat out rejected a President Biden 2024 run. Their response is so swift and so blunt, it seemed to surprise the moderator.
Should Joe Biden run again?
No.
That was quick. Wow. Couldn't finish my sentence. Why shouldn't Joe Biden run again in 2024?
Because too many people will not vote for him.
No.
I agree with he's in class, but you don't know if he's really in class.
You could put anybody up next to him and they're going to get it. And that's not good.
A lot of people think he's mentally unwell, and maybe they think it's his age, his dementia, whatever. Again, if we had a doctor that would tell us that, it would be a different story.
Anybody could go up against him, Kevin? Anybody?
I don't know about that, but
that was really interesting. That was not a small group. They are not monolithic from all, and I watched that. I mean, it was fascinating. What's going on?
Yeah, it's not good for the president, obviously. As a Democrat on this panel, I truly will admit that. But as the president said in that 60 Minutes interview just the other week, he will figure out whether he is running again. I think the midterms will weigh on that decision process. He'll huddle with Jill and other advisors and make that decision for himself. But I think as the president has said, he has majority support among Democratic voters. That's important, obviously, to secure the renomination of his party. And polls show consistently, that he's beating Trump.
And I hear you say majority support among Democratic voters. Then why is it in national polling now, and not just Fox News, that the GOP in general are something that people would choose over Democratic leadership right now? He's at the top of the food chain. He decides the ingredients and the flavoring nationally. Mercedes.
Look, I think for Joe Biden, it's very problematic in the sense that you have the Democratic Party. Several of these congressional members already saying, well, I don't know if I'm going to back Joe Biden. But the problem is, Harris, is what's the alternative? Kamala Harris, the most unpopular vice president that we've seen that can barely put together a sentence like her boss. I mean, this is the challenges that you're seeing the Democrat Party facing. And I really believe, and I'd love to get Kevin's view on this, but it's really going to be President Obama who's going to end up deciding who's going to run in 2024. I think he's the one that is the stronghold of that party so far.
All right, 10 seconds, Kevin. She called your name.
Listen, I think it's news to President Obama that he's a kingmaker within the party. It's the president's decision to make whether he's going to run again. I support him if he does.
He's the kingmaker in the party. And, oh, by the way, a really long weekend for the president after he drops this historic inflation idea on us later today, possibly even later this hour. He takes more vacation time.
I'll see him
but
in
Obama
Rehoboth,
comes
Harris.
out.
I'm headed there, too.
Oh, that's interesting, right? Because he's going to show up in Wisconsin. Okay, good to see you both. Thank you.
Thanks, Harris.
Crime is